Hey, and welcome to my channel, Quiet Discipline. I want you to sit back and relax and get this lesson. I thought this lesson was really important. So, without further ado, like and subscribe if you're interested. It really helped me out. Continue giving some good content, some good information. So without further ado, here's a lesson.
So, what if I told you that one of the best blueprints for success today wasn't in some new business book, but was actually hidden in a 30-year-old sci-fi story? Sounds kind of crazy, right? But today, we're going to break down how a classic episode of Star Trek gives us this surprisingly powerful framework for winning in our, let's face it, pretty chaotic modern world.
The whole story kicks off with this really fascinating, almost dangerous question. Just think about it. What if you could meet a woman who is literally biologically designed to be your perfect match? Now, this isn't just some sci-fi romance plot. It's a thought experiment that sets the stage for a really profound warning.
All right, let's dive into that warning. We're throwing it back to 1992, to an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation called The Perfect Mate. And as our source material argues, this isn't just the story about aliens and starships. Nope, it's actually a powerful allegory for trying to find your way through modern chaos.
Okay, so at the heart of all this is a character named Kamala, and she's a metamorph, which is this incredibly rare empathic being. Her biological purpose is just fascinating. She's meant to perfectly bond with one single person, becoming a living, breathing reflection of their innermost self. I mean, she is, in every sense of the word, a unicorn. So, as you can probably imagine, the second she arrives on the Starship Enterprise, everything goes haywire. A wave of tension and straight-up chaos just ripples through the ship. She's treated less like a passenger and more like a strategic weapon that has to be contained for the safety of the entire crew and the mission itself. And this brings us to the core conflict of the whole episode. On one side, you've got Dr. Crusher. She represents this very modern mindset, right? She sees Kamala's prearranged bond as virtual prostitution and argues she deserves absolute individual freedom. But on the other side, you have the ambassador, who represents order. He's warning everyone that without structure, without some guardrails, literally every man on the ship will end up fighting over her. It's a total clash between autonomy and systemic safety. And the source material argues that the whole structure around Kamala, the chaperone, it wasn't about oppressing her. It was about protection. Protection for the men from a force they are biologically wired to pursue, and maybe more importantly, protection for society itself from the chaos that erupts when desire isn't checked by some kind of higher principle.
So, how does the story deal with all this chaos? Well, in the middle of all this biological and social turmoil, there is one anchor. This is where we get the archetype of what our source calls the unbreakable frame.
And that anchor is, of course, Captain Jean-Luc Picard. He is the only man on the entire ship who can interact with Kamala without completely losing his composure. He's the one person who remains in total command of himself.
So what in the world makes up Picard's unbreakable frame? Well, it's not that he doesn't feel desire. He's still human after all. The big difference is that for him, duty is always greater than desire. His ship is his purpose. His word is his bond. These things create a clear hierarchy in his mind that commands his impulses. At the end of the day, the mission is, quite simply, everything.
And this right here is such a key insight from the story. What makes someone truly powerful isn't the absence of desire. It's the presence of a higher purpose that disciplines and commands that desire. It's all about having a mission that's bigger than yourself.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Kamala's unique biology reacts in a fascinating way. She isn't drawn to the most charming guy or the most flirtatious one. No, her empathic nature is compelled by the single strongest signal on the entire ship, Picard's unwavering commitment to his duty, his authority, his unbreakable frame. That's what makes him the anchor in her chaotic world.
And this leads to a totally irreversible outcome. Because she spends time with Picard, her unique bonding process kicks in. She doesn't just fall for him, she literally imprints on him, absorbing his core values like a sponge. She starts talking about honor, duty, and sacrifice. She actually becomes a reflection of his character.
Okay, so we have this really compelling sci-fi story. But you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with us right now? Well, this next section is all about forging your own unbreakable frame. We're moving from a starship right into the real world.
So let's get right to it. What does a fictional starship captain from a 30-year-old TV show actually teach us about winning in our world, today? How does this idea of a frame really translate into practical, real-world success?
This is where our second source, the audiobook Focus on You Until You Win, gives us the answer. See, Picard's frame isn't just some cool sci-fi concept. It's a perfect blueprint for the principles of self-mastery, focus, and discipline that the book argues are absolutely essential for success. So here are the practical steps. This is how you build your own frame. Number 1, you focus fully on you. Commit to daily self-improvement. 2, you have to ignore the outside noise and protect your mind from negativity. 3, own your life. Stop blaming other people and take full responsibility for your own outcomes. 4, show up daily. Build that self-respect through consistency, especially on the hard days. And finally, 5, cut out distractions. Just ruthlessly eliminate anything that weakens your focus. You are the architect.
As the audiobook puts it so perfectly, your life will only change the day you decide to put all your energy where it belongs, on you. That internal commitment, that decision, that's the foundation for building your unbreakable frame.
And that brings us to our final section, the winning mindset. This is where both of these sources just perfectly align, and they reveal the incredible power that comes from principled sacrifice.
Now here's the big twist in the Star Trek story. After bonding with Kamala, after this perfect connection is formed, Picard doesn't get the girl. He fulfills his mission. He lets her go to marry another man, all to secure peace between two entire worlds that were at war.
You see, he lets her go because his duty outranks his desire. And the source argues that this choice, this incredible sacrifice, is the ultimate demonstration of his power. It's the proof that his frame doesn't collapse, even under the weight of his own heart.
And just listen to how perfectly this echoes the message from Focus on You Until You Win. Your strongest self is waiting on the other side of discipline, on the other side of sacrifice. It's incredible. Both sources arrive at the exact same conclusion. True strength isn't forged in getting what you want, but in sticking to what you stand for.
Which leaves us all with one final powerful question to think about. What if the ultimate prize isn't actually what you win at the end, but who you become in the process of trying to win it? Maybe the unbreakable frame isn't about the outcome at all. Maybe it's about the character you build along the way.